with the advent of social media, people now can express their honest opinions online and in real life be a completely different person. Or they can express themselves honestly in real life and be a completely different person online. Now, what I'm saying is obvious, or it may not be if you were born into it. As in, when you were born, you didn't know things like floppy disks, dial-up, VCR, analog radio. So there's a actor named Jing Lucy, and she presented this year's Chinese New Year in London. She then made a follow-up, not documentary, but a follow-up program following her journey into discovering what it means to be Chinese, because though she was born in Shanghai, she came over to England when she was 5. So in all respect, she is a BBC. Now, I think the second B in BBC has become too fixed. Now let me explain. For those who don't know, BBC stands for British Born Chinese. That is to define a Chinese person growing up in Great Britain. However, maybe in the newer generations there are more BBCs where the second B means to be born. But with older generations, the B would mean bred, as in they came over here when they were young, they grew up in primary school, secondary school, university, and maybe even have their nationality as British. So they don't know anything about being Chinese or Taiwanese or from Hong Kong. So I think we need to realize that not all BBCs are born here, that some BBCs are bred here. And that would make more sense, because you're still a British Chinese. Now, what do I mean by what I said in the beginning of the video? Okay, so the most annoying thing you can be called by being BBC is a banana, okay? Which means you're yellow on the outside, i.e. Chinese, but you're white on the inside. In America, that term, of the derogatory term, is a Twinkie, because they have a sweet flavored snack which is yellow on the outside and white filling on the inside. So I just want to read a few things which has been posted regarding this follow-up program from a few BBCs, which think that they're not being represented the right way, whatever the right way is. She's bright but clueless. How can she represent us when she's not even a BBC? I watched 5 minutes and that was enough. I find her ignorant, has a lack of passion for her own culture. I find her quite fake, and I find her sarcastic. I felt she was very westernized. Okay. She sounds absolutely unbearable. She's distinctly average, and worst of all, a smug twat. Okay, it goes on and on. Just nothing in this thread is describing the fact that she's trying to give an outlook to the viewer of what Chinese culture is, what it means to celebrate Chinese New Year, so on and so forth. Our own people aren't supportive of someone on TV representing their culture because they feel that the person's too smug, the accent isn't the right accent. So people will complain. Our people will complain forever. And even if there is a representative, they'll still complain. So our smartphone culture now has made people more open to complaining. And maybe in real life they'll say, oh, just relax. It was just me having a rant online. That's not my real self. But internally you had it inside of you in order to say that, in order to type that online. So you do feel that in some way. So you can't have it both ways. My feeling is she had a script, and as a presenter you have a script, and she's an actor as well, so you have a script. So maybe not her true personality came out on screen. And if people hate her for that, that's just ridiculous. And I think they're missing the point. So at this point in time, even our own people are stopping us from coming out of the stereotype by calling ourselves banana or Twinkie. Okay, so I found one which isn't negative, it's actually quite positive. So I'll just quickly read it. Regardless whether you guys think she is a disgrace or not, I actually learned a few things from the program. I haven't celebrated Chinese New Year with my family in the last 5-6 years as my parents have to work, but I'm hoping to see my family in China to celebrate and learn more of their Chinese traditions. Although I am a little surprised that she doesn't know the basic foundation of the Chinese culture, such as red meaning lucky, I just wondered why she never made some profound effort to ask about our culture until now. Well, she's an actor, so for the screen, she had to act that way. If she has been ignorant since living here, then maybe where she grew up in her environment, which was Hampshire by the way, maybe there's no Chinatown, or maybe there aren't any Chinese people around. So celebrating Chinese New Year in the countryside, as I understand Hampshire, back in the day, maybe there weren't that many Chinese people, so it wasn't much of a celebration, so there wasn't any need. Continuing. To me, I would ask, just because I am a keen learner and willing to improve myself in speaking Cantonese and understand the culture a bit more, and save myself the embarrassment, of course, haha. Again, that's due to accent. Alright, that's another video, but I feel, regardless of accent, if two people can communicate, that's it, that's perfect. If someone speaks Chinese with a weird accent, but you still understand them, that's fine. Accent is correctable if the person wants to correct. Bruce Lee exploded on screen, and with that gave birth to a stereotype and destroyed the old stereotype where Asians were being portrayed by white people with makeup and the slanted eyes and the long beard and the pointy hats. However, with breaking the old stereotype, he introduced a new stereotype of kicking and punching and martial arts. Not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing, but he broke the mold. What we need now is someone to break the mold, to say there is no stereotype. We are exactly the same. Someone needs to stand up and say, listen, we can do everything that you can do equally well. Sometimes worse, sometimes better. But there is no stereotype. And in media, films, music, TV, sports, with Asian representation, the old stereotype which Bruce Lee created of punching and kicking will fade away. So those are my thoughts on the issue. I'm nearly halfway through this program. Gonna finish watching it. A British accent is a British accent. It doesn't sound like she came from Hong Kong and has been growing up in Hong Kong, because she hasn't. She grew up in Hampshire. So the people in the thread, they seem to want one thing and disagree with the other. It's kind of ignorant, as well as, what's the other word? I'm pretty sure ignorant is the word. Oh no, hypocrite. That's the word. Ignorant hypocrites. And it seems as if the more negativity there is, in order to join in and not feel left out, it's rather encouraged. So that needs to stop. How? I'm not sure. When? Again, I'm not sure. But it does need to stop. Alright. That had to be noted, and those were my thoughts for the program and people's reaction. So that will be archived and that will be processed into something more fluid, more flowing in the near future. Peace out.